Hello, everyone. Thank you, Tanya, for the introductions. I have a few questions for Katie here. I am Canadian, but have residence in Mesa. Can I still volunteer?
Absolutely. So if you happen to be in town during any of our events that come up, you are welcome to sign up and volunteer. We would love to have you. You do not have to be a City of Mesa resident to volunteer for city events.
Um, are there any art therapy classes I could volunteer for with the city?
That is a very good question. I can't speak specifically, but I would be willing to bet that the Mesa Arts Center has something along those lines. So I would definitely reach out to them for any possible opportunities in that field.
Uh, if I don't drive, would that be a problem for some of the volunteering opportunities?
So, for our opportunities, you do need to be able to find a way to transport yourself to them. However, the City of Mesa does have a lot of public transportation. Some of these events are taking place in downtown Mesa. So, you have the light rail, you have buses. There's a carpooling option if you have any friends or family that are also interested in volunteering. Those are different ways that you can come to our events, but most of them are you are required to transport yourself to the different events. Yes.
Does your team work for the city?
We do work for the city. So we are in the community services department and our division is community engagement.
And is there an age requirement to volunteer, or is it determined by the actual
Most of them are determined by the actual event. A safe bet is that 16 and up can almost always volunteer. Some of our events can also include kiddos for those family friendly ones. Like we had a park cleanup recently where people were sanitizing the different equipment and kids can absolutely come to those. So we have quite a few that are family friendly. And whenever we're posting these, whether it's on Sign Up Genius or on our website, we will list the different age requirements. But that is a great question. We love having the youth come out and be engaged in our different opportunities whenever it's possible and safe to do so.
Perfect. The next question is, what is a typical volunteer group size for the Neighbors Helping Neighbors project? And is there a way to work with you to coordinate assisting other groups as a single volunteer for these projects?
Absolutely. So, Neighbors Helping Neighbors projects can vary in size. Some of the homes that don't need quite as much work can be done with a group of 4 to 5 people. Some of the ones who need a lot of support and a lot of work have anywhere from 20 to 30 volunteers. So, we can really accommodate different group sizes for that. If you don't have a group on your own and you are just interested in doing a Neighbors Helping Neighbors, please still reach out to me or fill out one of our forms to do that because I can always team you up with another group or we can work to figure out a way to create maybe a group if there's multiple individuals who are looking to do one of these and don't have a group for themselves. So it's always best just to reach out to me so we can have that conversation and try to get you involved.
Thank you, Katie. All right. So next question is, do I need special training to volunteer with the city?
That depends on a department by department basis. For most of the opportunities that I talked about today, there is not special training required. A lot of them are event opportunities where you just come out and we kind of teach you how to do it the day of. But if you are interested in opportunities like working with the PD or fire and medical, those absolutely come with training before you begin volunteering. So it really just depends on the specific opportunity that you're interested in.
The next question is, one of my neighbors would benefit from a Neighbors Helping Neighbor opportunity. How can I request it?
So if you have a relationship with your neighbor, I would definitely recommend having that discussion with them first. You can always fill out a form on behalf of somebody else, but I do need to be able to contact that neighbor directly to schedule a time to visit their home and talk with them to see if it's something that they are comfortable with people coming onto their property to help with the Neighbors Helping Neighbors project. But you can always reach out and we can talk about that more if you need help kind of facilitating that conversation as well. But I would definitely recommend speaking to your neighbor if you guys do have a relationship.
And one more question here. How do I sign up for the volunteer newsletter?
So on the slide that had the QR code, there's also, once you go to that page, there is a link for the newsletter, but we are going to send you a direct link to the newsletter in our follow-up email so that you guys can just click on it and fill it out. It'll be very easy. As Tanya said, that email is going to be sent out within the next 48 hours, I believe. And so you guys will have that link where you can then go sign up for the newsletter and you will then get them moving forward.
I was totally kidding. This is the last question, I promise. Are the tools that you lend only for volunteer projects in Mesa?
So our tools can be used for all sorts of things. It doesn't need to be just volunteer projects. Like if you just need a ladder to fix something on your roof, you can come borrow the tools from us and we'll fill out the form with you. But they are for City of Mesa residents. So you do need to live in Mesa to use our tool lending program, but it doesn't have to be for a volunteer project. Please let me know if that answered your question correctly or if you had any follow-up on that. If anybody has any follow-up on the questions they asked, I believe you can still submit a question and I'll go into more detail for you.
Another question just rolled in as well. What is an example of a PD volunteer?
So an example of volunteering in the police department can be anything from helping with different clerical tasks where you're actually helping with the files behind the scenes. But then I also know that they had a position open recently to help in the forensics department where you're actually getting to learn from them and kind of oversee what's being done there. So there's a lot of different opportunities. They also have one-time opportunities where they have police officers go out in the community and go to a local like lake or pond and fish with the kiddos, and they need volunteers to help with that as well. So it's not just these very big, detailed, dedicated opportunities. They also have fun events that you can volunteer for.
When do the signups for events usually close? How late can I sign up for these events?
Most events will be posted about a month in advance of the opportunity and close the week of. That way we have enough time to make sure that we are dedicating everybody to their specific tasks and we have our exact numbers. So I would say that most of them close about 4 to 5 days out from the event. So you have about a month to sign up for most event opportunities.
And another question. I have a Mesa resident that are not employees, but do like to volunteer. Can I pass along this information to them?
Absolutely. Please do. Share the information with everybody you know in Mesa.
All right, and that was the last question. Thank you so much, Katie.
Thank you guys all for the very good questions. I love it.